I still remember, it must have been, I don't know, 15 years ago, I found a website with something called the ruler game on it. And I introduced it to the class because we were working in Flash and this was Flash based. And I thought, hey, we can, have a competition who can read rulers the fastest. And they can see a practical application of Flash that, had a purpose. And one of the shocking things that I discovered was that most of the students can't read a ruler. I had no idea. And then year after year, I've discovered replicating this that, yeah, most of you can't read a ruler. You learned how to do this in elementary school, and apparently many of you, and I know some of you can, some of you are adept and get it. And some of you, can work in centimeters and millimeters and inches and fractions, and you know what you're doing. I started out in architecture, switched to graphic communications before fine arts. So using a ruler and doing things in a particular manner has always come natural to me. So this graphic, the very first thing I did with the pen tool, I've told you this before, use some of those architectural skills, width, height. This is the maximum width of the butterfly's wings. This is the width of the bottom sections. This is the maximum height of these wings. And this is the upper section. Now, why didn't I do the lower section? Because it's already here. This dimension minus this dimension is this dimension. And this image has been laid out specifically for this desktop. My native resolution is 5120 by 2880. But as I told you in the desktop pictures, if you go back to dpics, you're going to find out the dimension of your screen and the appropriate dimensions to work for your monitor. So this is 2560 by 1440, which is 1/4 size. But the Mac is really good at displaying imagery crisp and clear, even when it's upsampled, as long as you use proportional measurements. So 2560 by 1440, that is the size of my desktop pictures on this monitor. You have a different size for your monitor. But when I work for the web and I use that same image, well, this is not 2560 by 1440. If I right-click on this and open this, I've already got it open in a new tab here, but I right-click and open this in a new tab. I didn't close that, sorry. And I roll over this, you can see it's 2000, I can't pull off of it, 2000 by 1500. Now, why 1500? Because I've told you before, the max width is 2560. For your images that you upload, the max height is 1500. So my 2560 by 1440, I could put that here, but it has extra white space on the outside. Why would I include that extra white space? Because it does nothing to enhance the presentation of this image, and presentation matters. This is a digital arts class. Now, why am I saying this? Well, going through posts, and this is week 33. Here's an image that was submitted. Hey, how's that for size? This is not the thumbnail. This is the full size. This is the image that opens up in a light box. Are you kidding me? And then here's another image that is directly below on this student's, and I'm not picking on one student. There are probably 40 or 50 students turning in images like this. What size is this image? If I roll over this, wait for it. Look at that. 5243 is the height. And what was the maximum? Not 5243, right? What was the maximum? 1500 for the height. This shouldn't come as anything new. We've been talking about this all year. Early in the year, it was 1080 or 1920 by 1080, and we upped it because we were able to accommodate larger file sizes. And presentation matters. What the heck is this? What is, and this is, once again, I'm not trying to pick on one student. There are lots of people who turn in these great big white panels with a little piece of art somewhere. Now, besides this thing lacking, contrast, it's very dark, it's high and it's to the left. And it should be cropped, and not just cropped this size. If this was worked in Illustrator, which I expect it was, well, you take it into Photoshop and you bring that vector object up to a better size for your presentation and crop it. So from this point forward, when you submit art and you submit things that are too small or too big, or your presentation does not reflect any effort to frame your work in the most positive manner possible, I'm going to reset your post, and I'm going to consider, when you ask for a grade raise, this is a digital arts class, and we're at the end of the year. You should know these skills. These should not be something I'm talking about in week 34. And the reason I'm hammering this right now is I want to see all of you raise your grades. So I want you to be aware of size, width, height. And if something's long and skinny, it's 1500 pixels is the maximum. If something is short and wide, 2560 is the maximum. It doesn't mean you make something 2560 by 1500. That's not what I did here. It's 1500 high, but it's only 2000 wide. You work within that window. And when in doubt, ask people around you. And if you can't figure it out, ask me. I want to help you, and I want to see you succeed, but I want to see you pay attention. Got it? Presentation matters. Remember that.